Good morning, everybody. I hope that you're well. We are coming to the end of another week, and in some ways, it's surprising to me that Poetry Month and the month of April will be ending soon. But in other ways, as I'm sure most of you feel right now, it seems like April has been like 6 months long. So it's a weird, feeling, and it's a strange time. So the poem that I have for you today is another poem about Cam and this idea of raising a small child. And in this particular poem, he's very, very small. And it's playing, I think, with this idea that I was talking about yesterday with, poems of the body and the body's role, specifically the mother's body's role in caring for a child, which, you can think about in sort of obvious ways, as in, if you have literally given birth to your child, if you nursed your child, if you did not nurse your child, like I did not nurse my child, even though I had planned to nurse my child. If all these kind of interactions that you have with your body and how you're essentially relearning it because it is in a role that is brand new, and that sometimes things happen that you can't account for, I suppose. And also the idea that you spend, in my case, I think I had mentioned this previously, I had 3 months maternity leave with him, so I was home with him for those 3 months. And it's the idea that, like, as his mother and as the one who was home with him, my body became, in some ways, sort of the be-all, end-all of his existence. And then at some point, as the kids sort of move beyond infancy, they start to move away from that. And that's a weird feeling because you sort of grieve the loss of your independence and body autonomy. And then you grieve the fact, and then you adjust to the fact that you are constantly basically attached to this other being, and then you grieve the fact, and you acclimate to that, and then you grieve the fact when they ultimately leave and reject you. And then maybe I'm feeling a little bit contemplative this morning, but in a sense, I suppose raising a child is just a series of them leaving you, because it reminds me of something my mom always says, which is that you effectively raise your children to leave. That doesn't mean they won't come back. That doesn't mean that they're not still around. But in theory, if you've sort of given them what you need to, then they go off and they make lives of their own, in whatever way that may come. So all of that was kind of swirling around in my brain when I wrote this little poem, and it is called Mosaic. Your body rises and falls in the space between my wrist and elbow as you breathe in time with my pulse. Violet-tinged fingers flex as your hungry mouth opens at my jaw. You never latched onto my breast, but rather my engagement ring, your fingers ghosting mine, preferring the brilliant flash and holding on. Blue eyes track every turn of my head as you search my ears for silver or crystal or gold until your gaze lands on a mosaic of iridescent shards smeared over the lamp's base. An oil-slick rainbow sliding across pavement after a storm. Purple, blue, red, and orange glass wings lay dormant in the shade, but a pull of the brass cord and you abandon my pale, muted body in favor of dragonflies that catch fire and fly. So that's my poem, Mosaic. And I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are, and I'll speak to you soon.